Well, I think the most important cultural connection for us is with the Caribbean. I feel like I feel like that's something that we need to be strengthening because they are islands as well.
I would love to just work with a mainstream artist who really values and puts poetry at the center of their art and of their work, and to have those types of connections where poetry is front and center. Like when Amanda Gorman did her inaugural speech, you know, so many people messaged me saying, that could have been you, or did you hear her, or she's so good, and one of my really biased friends was like, you could have done better. And I was just like, I'm very different. And I just was thinking, we don't really have inaugural poets or those opportunities for huge collaborations like that, where spoken word or like what I do could be center stage when the whole world is watching, you know.
I would very much like to work with the Azorean Portuguese. My great-grandfather came from the Azores, and there's a large gap in my, if you so-called DNA, that I would like to become more familiar with that part of my heritage, and to also learn more about the folk medicine applications that exist in the Azores right now. So I would love the opportunity to travel there, to meet with folk practitioners, and to document some of their applications that were also incorporated into our community.
What I love to explore is people in each art section, visual artists, pairing up with sound artists, pairing up with clothing designers. There's Nollywood, there's Bollywood. I don't know what we would call it, Bermuda. I don't know. Don't quote me. But I do want us to all be able to work together.
I would genuinely love to gain greater access to images from Bermuda's past. My grandfather told me very vivid stories about the Bermuda he grew up in, and clearly it's nothing like the Bermuda that we exist in now. But I love to draw segues between our past and our present, because our past informs our present. I think there's, in regards to Afro-Bermudian culture, gaining access to those things is challenging. I kind of want the challenge to go away.
I'd like to see more cross collaboration with dance and with drama. That is just so exciting to me, and so I'm looking for opportunities. If there's dancers that have a concept that I would like to work on.
I have a project that I've been working on for some time, for the last decade basically, and I've done one book with it. I'd like to do another project, whether it be a book or an exhibition, I'm not quite sure. And that's looking at naming and name culture, which is very interesting here and complicated. But then also at the same time, you know, projects like this, especially ones that you're doing in the community, where you're looking at culture, you need to be very informed and aware of what other projects creatives are doing. So at the moment there's a fantastic exhibition at the National Gallery by Miss Hassel, and you know, she's working, it's a different subject matter, but there's crossovers, and she's looking at names, and so I need my work to be informed by hers.
I'm currently exploring my own roots, and therefore the roots of Bermuda, which is through the Caribbean connecting to the continent of Africa, and specifically the West Coast, and then within that the ideas of the way of the people, business, which started the whole thing of the transatlantic slave trade, and just sort of like diving into those things and understanding how we are as humans on this planet.
I don't know, I think it might have been done a little bit in the past, but if there can be some kind of a cultural, artistic exchange between actual artists, say an artist from Cuba coming down to Bermuda, and then the artists from Bermuda could fly over to Cuba and stay at the Cuban artist place, and for 3 months or whatever, create a body of work, have a show in Cuba. The Cuban artists could have a show down here. I think that's kind of been done I think Masterworks had like an artist in residence program, but I don't think it was like a reciprocal thing where one artist flies over to Bermuda and the other artist flies over to somewhere. I mean, Jamaica's got a thriving art scene. If you fly over to Jamaica for 3 months, and the Jamaican artists could come over to Bermuda or Brazil. I mean, the possibilities are endless.